Yes, indeed. It is time for awesome tech you can't buy yet here on Digital Trends Live. I'm Greg Nibbler, and our own Drew Prindle scours the internet to find some of the best, strangest, sometimes greatest, sometimes weirdest, different crowdfunding campaigns that are out there and presents them for us all to look at. That is why Drew is here right now. Drew, hello, and which one do you want to start off with here today?
I mean, I guess following on with what you just said, which sometimes is we have very weird things on the show. I think we have to start with Eau de Space, which is a fragrance that is designed to mimic the smell of space. Apparently, so as some of you might know, apparently space actually does have a distinct smell to it. And it like a few decades ago, back when like the space race was going on, NASA actually kind of like codified it more or less and recreated it and wanted to use that smell to help train astronauts, to basically help them like acclimate to just like what it was like to be in space, part of which was smells. So the thing
Which
is they
this
developed this. Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead.
So basically they developed this fragrance, but NASA just had it. It's kind of just been like sitting in a shelf or whatever, and it hasn't been available to the public. So this company is basically raising money. They've done, freedom of information requests. They've gotten all of the, they've basically unlocked the fragrance, gotten it from NASA's archives or whatever, and are now selling it as a perfume.
Which Adrian Mortar and Jess Serbot brought this up a couple of weeks ago on TBD when I first became aware of this, because I think it's honestly, I would kickstart this. I think I said it at the time that I was going to pay into this. I think I'm still going to do it because at $29, it's not that bad. It is a weird combination of smells though. Like burned steak, gunpowder, and raspberries. That just sounds like somebody's having some kind of issue with their spacesuit. Like it's a lack of oxygen that caused this. I don't know. But, I think I would go ahead and buy this. Like, how do you feel about it?
I feel like it's who's gonna smell that and be like, oh yeah, I know which. Are you wearing space right now? Like no, it's a strange thing. Like I feel like the point of like a cologne or a perfume is to actually smell good, whereas this isn't really so much to smell good as it is to smell like accurate, like something like some other smell, which is a strange thing. I don't know if you're gonna catch me smelling like space anytime soon.
That's true. It could be kind of obnoxious if somebody's like, actually, it's the smell of space. They scientifically figured this out. Yeah, we'll see where it goes. I still am probably going to give them $29. But going from there, what is the next one you want to bring up?
Let's talk about the OBSBot Tiny. So this thing is something that I think we could all get some use out of now that everything is happening remotely and we're all working from home and relying very, very heavily on webcams. This thing is basically... It's a miniaturized version of an existing product, one that I actually got to see at CES a couple years ago, actually. It's an AI-powered camera that has two brushless gimbals on it so it can pivot and track you, and it uses that AI software to tell, when you're moving, and it keeps you directly in the center of the frame, regardless of where you go. So they've basically taken that camera and that technology and shrunken it down and made that same idea, but it's something that you can clip onto the top of your monitor. So then if you like get up and move around, the camera will follow you. So I think it's interesting, not because it's particularly practical for like work, because obviously, I mean, we're video conferencing right now. I'm not moving around a lot. I don't think most people move around a lot when they're on like work calls, but I think this would be super useful for those like social distance or whatever, just like a virtual happy hours or whatever with friends and family, where you might not be sitting still. You're up, moving around, you're in the kitchen, you're dancing around the living room, whatever. I feel like this would be super helpful for those situations.
Yeah, and that price isn't bad on that. I mean, that's a pretty good deal if they can actually deliver on this thing. So again, this is the OBSBot AI-powered PTZ camera that follows you around. I could see a lot of use out of that. That's another one I'd consider kickstarting this too. So that is they let's see, started off with a $10,000 goal, and they're now at $181,000 as of right this moment. So it's going up. So yeah, I think everybody kind of wants that right now. So that's the OBSBot Tiny webcam, AI-powered webcam. And going from there, we've got a final one here as well. Go ahead and tell us what this is.
Yeah, so the final one we got here is the New Grip 4-in-1 tripod. This thing is it's just super clever. So really what it is a multifunction tripod. So you can fold it up and use it as just a grip. It extends so you can use it like a selfie stick. It stands up like a normal tripod. But then the cool thing about it is it has these buoyant tips on it. So it makes it float, which is good for not only making sure that your action cam or your phone or whatever you're filming with doesn't just like sink into the water, but you can actually extend it out and it suspends itself in the water upside down. So it's kind of like a tripod stabilizer, like camera holder, just for water, which is a
Wow.
super clever idea. And the fact that like I feel like most people aren't going to be using the water tripod version most, but the fact that it has like 4 different modes and that's just one of them is kind of just like, I don't know, it's icing on the cake. Really clever idea.
Yeah, well, and you're not gonna like lose it if you drop it in the water somewhere.
Exactly.
So that's actually really cool. That's a cool feature that it's got on there. And looking here at the price on that one, so yeah, not too bad. $57 because it says right there. The new grip floating action cam tripod. Also, I think this is 3 in a row that I like all 3 of these that we've got here, where I would actually pay money for each one of these things. So that's cool. So new grip 4-in-1, world's first floating tripod. Yeah, same thing. They're like 4 times over the goal right now, but you can still check that out. And we've got all these at digitaltrends.com for awesome tech you can't buy yet. And Drew, as always, thank you for taking the time to find all of these. We'll see if next, when we're in contact, if I smell like raspberries and steak, then you know that I did back this up.
Awesome. I eagerly await that day.
Or it's just what I have for lunch. I don't know. But all right, Drew Prindle, right there. Awesome tech you can't buy yet.